ask me if I like football, I say yes, I do like football, but not Burnley. Burnley can off.
What's happening, Blades? Welcome back to my caravan. No longer in my car. Wow. Listen, we're on a journey together, aren't we, to try and bring this channel along, and you've all been there from start, from the canoe to the tree to everything else that we were doing, all that silly stuff basically. And we're trying new stuff now, and I don't apologise for that, and I don't think anybody will want me to really. But there are going to be teething problems along the way, so thank you to everybody for sticking with me. Really appreciate it. I think I only dropped one subscriber. I don't know whether that would be because of my live stream or not, and a huge thanks again to Nick for jumping in and helping me out with that. Cause
oh, friend! Oh, new friend! Oh, friend! Please be my friend! Oh, friend! Oh, friend!
And for those of you that I don't catch your feed, your sort of comments in the feed, I do get to go back and read them all afterwards. So thank you to everybody in live chat. If I didn't sort of call upon your comment, it's not that I haven't seen it. I can't respond to them like I can normal comments in YouTube, but I've certainly read everybody's opinion. So thank you all for contributing, much appreciated. How are we all feeling after Burnley? I'm a little bit frustrated, if I'm honest, still. And I get the mentality that it was potentially a free hit. I hate that sort of mentality for us. Listen, next season, if we're promoted, Man City at the Etihad is a free hit. You know, on current form, going to Arsenal is a free hit. But going to Turf Moor is never a free hit for Sheffield United. It can't be. I think, as you know, we've got best squad in league. So we should be going to Turf Moor expecting to get something. I'm not saying we turn the champions over. I'm saying we can get at least a point, if not more, because we're good enough to do that. And to be fair to lads, I think we started off the better side. I thought it looked a good end-to-end game, and I was confident we could have got something until Jackie Robinson and Wes, to be fair, messed it up. No other way of putting it, really. So it were really stupid. It were daft, but it were a mistake. And look, Jack Robinson has been under the spotlight plenty of times this season for mistakes, but he's also had a great run of form during the season. And I know he's won a lot of people around, and I think he has a little bit of credit in the bank to, you know, everybody makes mistakes, don't they? I think Wes the same. Wes has got us out of jail a couple of times. You look back to Wigan last week even, you know, point blank header when we were under no pressure at all. But when called upon and he's not, you know, he's got his deck chair out for 85 minutes, it's there, isn't he, and he's done the job. But obviously he's out for 2 games now. I don't understand that, how you get a straight red and you're out for 2 games. I've never heard that before in my life. It were either 2 yellows and it's a 1-game ban for being sent off for 2 yellows, or a straight red is a 3-game ban as far as I were aware. I understand it's because it's his second red, but I've never heard it. I'd have thought it were another 3 games, but he'd have missed City if it had been 3rd game. So thankfully he's back for a City game. He'll miss Cardiff and Bristol. Adam Davies has got a lot of stick. And I know, I agree that I think he were at fault for a second goal. Certainly had a large part to play in it. But we've got to get behind him, haven't we? And I think he has turned up in big moments for us though. At penalty save against Wrexham, if it weren't for Adam Davies, we might not be playing Man City. You know, that's not me stretching. That's true, because he saved a pen from Mullin that saw us through that tie. I think he'll be all right, and I think we need to get behind him. And I think that's the general theme about a lot of our players. And whenever I talk about players in, for want of a better phrase, a derogatory manner, it's nothing personal, and it's underpinned with a lot of respect. I don't think Jackie Robinson is good enough for this team. I struggle to think that he gets into our best Championship 11. I certainly don't think he's a Premier League player. But that don't mean he don't give everything he's got for shirt. He's not fully committed in tackles and things like that. And I love to see that side of it. But I just don't think he's up to the standard. And someone who's not been up to the standard, he's certainly got the quality, but he's not been up to the standard. Ollie Norwood. What has happened to Ollie Norwood? I thought he was really poor again against Burnley. really poor. Not just when we went down to 10, I thought stray passes, getting caught in possession, not impacting the game in any meaningful way. It makes me question whether he can come with us to the Prem. I certainly wouldn't expect him to start in the Premier League, because I think if he does, then we're struggling. But I certainly had him nailed on to be a squad player with us, and I think he still will be. But it's just, what impact is he going to have? I don't know. I didn't think McBurney looked great. I thought he was towing. You know, we sort of... And listen, playing against 10 men, it's a slog. You know, you're going to have to give everything. I didn't like the Eki. I say I didn't like it. I never like us to throw a towel in. But at 2-0, he starts taking best players off. And you can understand it. It's just awful to see your own team throw the white flag. It's not something we're used to. It's not something we like. But, you know, I understand it, even if I don't like it. But overall, it was a fantastic Easter weekend for us, other than the obvious Burnley result, which I don't think a lot of us thought we'd get 3 points from anyway. But Borough, the team that we all feared, have fallen away a little bit. They've lost to Burnley themselves and drew away at Bristol City, which won't be an easy game, by the way, for us, but obviously that's later to come. They're now, I think it's 8 points behind us, with 5 to play, and we've got a game in hand on them. I think they've gone. Luton are now looking like the team that we've got to watch out for, and I've said all along I'm not fearful of Luton, and I'm still not squeaky bum about Luton. I am about United overall going up, but Luton have got Blackburn to play, and the big game is Borough. They've got Borough to play. So, you know, I didn't think I'd ever at this point during the season, or at any point during the season, think I'd be cheering for Borough to win a game, but I think I might be. So the only thing we can concentrate on, and I know a lot of you'll probably be screaming this watching right now, is what we do. It's all about what we do. 4 home games now at the Lane in a row in the league. We beat Cardiff, we beat Bristol City, then we've got the City game, then it's West Brom, potentially tricky, but they're not playing great at the moment. I'm hoping they'll be out of the playoff picture at that point, or it's too far of a stretch for them. And then Preston, who are the team that's banging form, but they've also got really tricky fixtures before they play us. So while they look like the form team at the minute, I think they've won 5 out of 6, but everybody they've played has been like lower bottom half. So it's just lined up nicely for them. I'm hoping that playing the tougher teams, they'll start to drop a few points, and themselves, when there's only 2 or 3 games left to end of their season, will have gone. So it could all work out well for us. Whatever happens, you'd expect us to get at least 8 points from those. 7 minimum. That's with a loss in there, obviously. If we get 7 points and there's 2 games to go, we only need, from this point, 10, I'd say, officially. You'd go 11 to be 100% mathematically sure from our last 6 games. But we need 10, because I think we're something like 9 or 10 better goal difference than Luton. Having said that, if Luton are to catch us, they'd have to be almost perfect, obviously. But with that will come an increase in their goal difference. So you've got to be wary of that. You can't always count goal difference as, you know, it's an extra point in the bag, because it might be a lot closer in 6 games' time. You know, if they play Wigan or whoever it might be, I think they play Reading at some point, you won't put it past them to put 3 or 4 past Reading, where they're playing at the moment. So it can swing quickly, those, particularly if we're picking up a loss or 2 that we're accounting for. But ultimately, it's on what we do. I keep trying to say it because I'm trying to convince myself to a degree. But yeah, Luton can only get to 86 points. We've got 76 at the minute. We need to confirm promotion as soon as possible, and obviously hope they drop a few points along the way. Borough can only get to 83, so I'd like to think they're gone. We do need to bank these next 2 home games with 6 points. We need 6 points from next 2. Absolutely non-negotiable. And then we'll be going into Man City a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I know people don't want to sort of think of it like that, but those of you thinking that we'll turn up and turn Man City over, I think you're dreaming. I think we all enjoy a fantastic day out. The lads will give it their all. And obviously I'll do a preview close to the time, but I'm certainly not imagining Billy lifting FA Cup, because I still think no matter how close we are, I still think it's a pipe dream just due to hurdles in front of us. You saw what they did to Bayern Munich, and then little old Sheffield United are going to turn up. But listen, we'll be hard to beat like we always are, but I think we will get beat. So anyway, moving on. So Cardiff in a relegation battle, a bit like Wigan in terms of they'll be giving it their all, no doubt, but they are sandwiched between a QPR team that are falling like a stone, and it couldn't happen to a nicer manager, and Reading, who have just been hit with a points deduction but on a dreadful run of form. They're hoping for a new manager bounce after sacking Paul Ince, but they've only appointed internally Nicky Hunt. Listen, no manager pedigree, but it's a wild card then, isn't it? It don't mean he's going to do a bad job because he hasn't done anything before. It's just you're taking a risk by not appointing somebody that's already done a decent job, like Huddersfield have gone to Warnock and pulled themselves out of it already. So, risky move, but, you know, it's panic stations for teams at the bottom, isn't it? Cardiff have got a game in hand on both of those teams. They have 6 to play, and all teams around them have got 5. And I think that plays into our hands because they're outside relegation zone at the minute. Yes, picking up a point or even 3 points at Ramble Lane would pull them out of the situation, and they'll be desperate to do that. But it's not quite bodies on the line, careers on the line. Everything needs to go into this one game because it's their one chance. I think we are more in that position than they are at the moment. Yes, they want to give everything to survive, but if they don't, then they can pick up. They'll see this as a free hit. We were talking about that earlier. Cardiff have got to see this as, you know, can we get a point? So I think we turn up, we beat these, and I think if we turn up with half the intensity that we started the first 15 minutes at Turf Moor, then we'll blow them away. To be honest, that's what I'm hoping for anyway. Obviously, so only one question: what's your team? So my team is clearly Adam Davis in goal. I'm going with Anel, Egan and Robinson. I'm going Georgie Baldock restored to right wing back because I think Bogle's been really off the boil. Don't know what's happened to him. And Lowe returns to left wing back. Norwood drops out for me. It's Tommy Doyle and Sander Berger, with McAtee slightly further forward in a more attacking formation at home. Jimmy Mack comes into the number 10, if you like, and Illiman and McBurney up front. I think that gives us best chance of getting 3 points. I think that's our best available team, other than Kieran Clark. And I just think the fact that he's been out for so long now with the rusty legs, Robinson will be hopefully keen to make amends. I'm not overly familiar with Cardiff's style this year. I'm going to be looking to do a little bit more opposition research going forward and into next season. Hopefully it'll be on Premier League teams and things will be a little bit easier for me. But Eki was saying today in his presser that they're quite a long ball team and they'll try and knock it long.
Have it. Oh yes.
And that's something we pride ourselves on, defending and shutting up shop and basically being able to defend quite easily. So if that's the tactic, to go long and, you know, just try and oof it upfield, I'm confident that we'll deal with that quite well. So we'll see what Saturday brings. Early kick-off, chance to get points on the board early doors and then sit back and relax and cheer on Rotherham. Come on, Rotherham. I know I keep trying to convince myself that it don't matter what any other teams do, but if we're not all Millers on Saturday afternoon, we'll be liars, won't we? Just a couple of things to update on. I know you're all after a dozy update. I can't provide one, unfortunately. It's not done. It's not dead. It's still rumbling on. It's with representative legal teams. I know the radio silence doesn't bode well for some, but I can only tell you what I know. It's by no means dead as a deal, as I've said. It's still rumbling on. That doesn't help anybody, does it? It doesn't help the Prince, it doesn't help Dozy, and more importantly, it doesn't help Eki and team, and particularly management team, to plan for next year. So let's hope it gets resolved soon. I'm hoping to have an update, as I said, but I've been saying that for a while, so I can only give you my present position. So I'm sorry I've not got any more info. I was expecting to have some, and the fact that that's dried up could be seen as a concern, really, I suppose. But as I say, I still remain quite positive that something will get done. And I think if it doesn't in this instance, it'll certainly be challenged in terms of, if it doesn't go Dozy's way, I fully expect a challenge to that. And it'll be interesting to see which way that goes, because that'll be referred independently. So we shall see. It doesn't help the club that it's rumbling on, but I think all parties want it resolved. So, you know, we shall see. I've got my own thoughts on that, which I've spoken about before. But as soon as I get anything else, I'll get it out to you. And lastly, one thing that I've just sort of come up with, I suppose, just for a bit of a laugh, we're going to do the inaugural Blades Ramble end of season awards. So it won't be your usual categories. There won't be a generic player of the season, goal of the season. It'll be other sort of categories that, you know, are fairly off the wall potentially, just for a bit of fun. So the way I'm going to do it, I think, is to put polls out on Twitter, because that's where I'm very active, mostly active, if you like, on my opinions, if you like, outside of my YouTube videos. So I'll put some polls out on Twitter for everyone. Then I think they only lets you do 4 options in one tweet. So if there's more, just check that there's nothing added to the bottom, because there might be more than 4 that I'm suggesting for certain categories. And then once we've got a bit of a short list down to 2 or 3, depending on what the category is, I'm going to put it to Ramblers to make a final decision between them and vote for who they think should get each particular award. And then we'll do a video, obviously, on who's won what award, or I'll add it to end of another video. Just, as I say, it's just a bit of fun, that's all. So something to look forward to, hopefully, that we can do in jest as we're celebrating the bigger picture of promotion. So big game on Saturday. Need the win. Can you imagine? The thing is, if we don't get the 3 points, huge incentive for Luton and even Borough. So playing first, lay the marker down, turn up, get the 3 points. Blades, get behind them. Get behind them at Bramall Lane. They will need us for these next 4 games. We need to do our bit. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades!
Ramble on. Well, now's the time is now.